A deeply unsettling incident unfolded on July 24 at Covent Garden in London, where a Singaporean busker, Wong, was assaulted while performing. Bryan, a 28-year-old musician, was in the midst of entertaining the crowd when a man in a grey hoodie approached him, sparking a confrontation that quickly escalated into violence. The incident, captured on video and later shared by Bryan on TikTok, shows the man suddenly landing a punch on Bryan's stomach. The altercation began earlier in Bryan's performance when the same individual disrupted his show for the first time. Displaying the professionalism expected of buskers, Bryan tried to play it off, continuing with his act. Unfortunately, the man returned later, and his behavior took a more aggressive turn. As Bryan was performing, the man started kicking items on Bryan's stage. Seeking to de-escalate the situation, Bryan approached the man, asking him to leave. It was at this moment that the man struck Bryan in the midriff. Despite the shock and physical attack, Bryan remained remarkably composed. He turned to his audience, asking if they wanted him to continue with the show. After receiving mixed reactions, he decided to proceed with his final act, ultimately ending the show prematurely. Bryan's calm and professional handling of the situation earned him praise from those who witnessed the incident. In a subsequent TikTok video, Bryan reflected on the experience, sharing that his biggest regret was that children in the audience had to witness the violent act. He expressed particular concern for a young girl sitting near the camera, whose reaction to the incident he found deeply upsetting. Although Bryan assured his followers that the punch did not cause him any physical pain, the emotional impact of the incident was evident. When asked why he chose not to retaliate, Bryan explained that it wouldn't have looked good for him or other buskers at Covent Garden. His decision to remain peaceful in the face of provocation reflects his understanding of the responsibility performers have to their audience, especially when children are present. The motive behind the attacker's actions remains unclear. While some have speculated that the attack might have been racially motivated, Bryan suggested that the man was more likely trying to be disruptive and act like a gangster. Bryan later reported that the same man disrupted another busker's performance by attempting to steal an audience member's phone, further indicating a pattern of disruptive behavior rather than a targeted attack. Following the incident, Bryan lodged a police report. However, no further action was taken as the man did not return to the scene. This lack of resolution has left many concerned about the safety of public performers, especially in areas known for street entertainment like Covent Garden. Bryan's journey in the UK was initially aimed at honing his busking skills and improving the quality of his performances. He has been traveling through the UK and Europe, performing in various cities to gain more experience. Despite the setback in London, Bryan remains committed to his craft. He is currently in Edinburgh, Scotland, and will soon be heading to Portugal for another gig. Bryan plans to return to Singapore on August 27th, bringing back with him not just improved performances, but also a story of resilience and professionalism in the face of adversity. We want to hear your thoughts on this incident. Do you think Bryan handled the situation correctly by not retaliating? What would you have done in his shoes? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this coverage insightful, please consider giving it a thumbs up, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to 2230 for more in-depth news stories like this.